everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Angel and today I'm going to be sharing with you some boho inspired DIYs from Dollar Tree. Before we get started, don't forget if you enjoy this video, give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and click on that little notification bell so that you won't miss out on any of my future videos. For this first project, we're just going to be using some Dollar Tree yarn and the Dollar Tree dowel rods. The first thing I did was cut the yarn in 3-foot strips, and I'm using 4 right here. Then you're just gonna wrap the yarn around the dowel rod like this, as you see here, and then you're gonna pull it down and tighten it, and you're gonna continue that all the way down the dowel rod. I believe I did 20 strands. Once that was complete, I just went back in, and to add some texture to this, I added a few braids in random spots down the yarn. Once I got the braid down to the end, I just tied it in a knot there at the bottom. Once I finished 3 braids, I just chopped off the bottom excess of the yarn. Now I'm just taking 1 strand of the yarn and I folded it over, and we're going to make the same loop that you did before on all 20 of the first ones. Then you're going to let that strand dangle a little bit and you're going to tie it to the other side. I tried to zoom in on this part, but basically I put the yarn over top. Then I went to the left, back around, over to the right, and then you're going to pull it down in the middle. The extra strand that you see me pulling out here, you're just going to let that dangle down and cut it evenly with the rest of it. Next, we're just taking 3 strands this time. You can do 4 if you want, but we're going to go back and do the same loops over this strand that we did over the dowel rod, all the way across. Once finished, you should have something that looks like this, and then you can just trim the end of it. Now for the last part, we're just going to take 1 strand and tie it over the top of it so that we can hang our yarn wall piece. And here's a look at how the wall yarn piece turned out. For this next project, I've been seeing this all over TikTok and just had to try it. So the first thing I did was mix a few colors. I end up not liking the color and going back in and changing it later. But then I took some baking powder and mixed in with that paint. And I actually used a little too much baking powder. As you can see here, you probably don't need that much. And it turned out pretty clumpy. So I just took a sponge brush from the Dollar Tree and started putting that paint and baking powder all over this vase that I've had laying around. And again, I'm gonna end up changing the color right here to a brown color because that orange was just a little too much for me. I really wasn't loving the brown either, so right here, as you can see, I went back in and did like a lighter shade of tan on the top and left the bottom brown for an ombre look. Once it had dried, I still really wasn't loving it because of how much baking powder I put in, so I decided to take some of my rope and just go around over the top of where the brown meets the tan part. And here's a look at how the vase finally turned out. For my final project, I picked up this plant a few weeks ago and wanted to make a stand with it. So I'll just be using some of Dollar Tree's tumbler blocks, wood glue, and this little play block. It's like stacking blocks that I found in the kids section. So the first thing I'm doing is just taking the tumbler blocks and I'm gonna wood glue them to this middle piece. Then I'm just gonna take 8 more of those tumbler blocks and I'm gonna glue 2 pieces each together to make the legs for the plant stand. Once those are all dry, I'm just using some more tumbler blocks to prop the middle piece up on while I glue the legs to the outside. And here's a look at how my plant stand turned out. You could of course stain this if you wanted to, but I really like the natural wood look. Alright everyone, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and I will see you next time. Bye!